Hi everybody. We're going to talk about stoichiometry today for this video lesson. So this should be your lesson for when you are at home either on Tuesday or Thursday, and there are some sample questions that you're going to do after watching this little video recording. Okay, so we're talking about stoichiometry in this, and it's kind of a confusing word, but essentially it's going to allow us to be able to calculate the quantity of products and reactants in chemical equations and figure out the ratios of those things. And the reason that we've got s'mores on the screen right now is because we are actually going to be doing an activity with s'mores in class, and I will make little baggies for those of you who are at home to be able to pick up so that you can do that activity with us on Thursday. Oh, maybe. There we go. So the reason that we might use stoichiometry, there are some things that we might be able to answer like by using this process. So it can help us answer how much product can I make if I'm doing a chemical reaction given what reactants I have, and how much of each reactant do I need in order to make that product. So just a little equation to get us started. Hopefully you recognize this equation. We've got a hydrocarbon over here reacting with oxygen gas, and we're forming carbon dioxide and water. So that should tip you off to remember that this is a combustion reaction. And this is actually the combustion of octane, which is a component of gasoline. And so one of the things that stoichiometry can help us realize from this chemical equation is that by burning only 2 moles, or you could say 2 molecules, but we're going to refer to those coefficients as moles. By burning only 2 moles of this octane, we're actually going to get 16 moles of carbon dioxide produced. So we're getting a huge transfer from that octane to the carbon dioxide. So this is why burning gasoline causes so much carbon dioxide to be released into our atmosphere. So stoichiometry in general is just the calculation of chemical quantities in a chemical reaction. And so you're kind of figuring out how much of each different thing that you have in order to be able to use the chemical equation in a chemical reaction. But the important thing with stoichiometry is that you have to balance the chemical equation first. If you don't do that, you could get lucky. If all of your coefficients happen to be 1, stoichiometry would still work, but that's rare, and so usually stoichiometry will not work for you unless you balance your equation first. So we're going to do a little example just talking about s'mores. So this is what we're going to be doing in our activity this week. So we need to balance this equation first. So we've got our 2 graham crackers, our 3 chocolate bars, and 1 marshmallow. And all of those ingredients are going to give us 1 complete s'more. So here's our balanced, excuse me, here's our balanced chemical equation with our coefficients. And we're going to be able to use those coefficients to calculate what we call a mole ratio. So that's going to figure out the proportion between 2 different substances in a chemical equation. It could be the proportion between 2 different reactants, or it could be a proportion between one of your reactants and one of your products, just helping you kind of figure out how much you're going to need to put into your equation and how much you're going to be able to get out. And we have to use those coefficients from the balanced equation in order to make our mole ratio. So we can use those to actually do a practice problem, and we'll do one with our s'mores, and then we'll do a couple with actual chemical equations. So in this practice problem, how many moles of G2C3M, this is just a s'more, so graham 2 chocolate 3 marshmallow, it's just a s'more. So how many moles of s'mores can you produce with 27 moles or 27 pieces of chocolate? So in order to do this equation, we're going to do the same exact thing that we were working with in our 1 and 2 step equations on Monday. So first we have to identify what our given is. So what are we given in the equation and what do we want to get to? So in this particular instance, our given is that we have 27 bars of chocolate or small pieces of chocolate. And we're trying to figure out how many s'mores we can make with that. So we're going to actually set up a conversion factor between those 2 things. And our conversion factor is going to use the coefficients from the actual chemical equation. So here's our conversion factor in the upper left. We've got 3 pieces of chocolate is going to give us 1 s'more. Okay, so there's our conversion between chocolate and s'mores. And then we're going to set up our t-chart just like we have been doing. So we're going to put our smiley face in the lower left, and then we're always going to put what we're given in the upper left. That's our starting point. Then our conversion factor is going to go in these middle 2 spots, and we're going to make sure to match our units of what we're given with whatever's on the bottom so that we can cancel those units out. So we've got our chocolate of our conversion factor is going to go on the bottom because we're trying to figure out s'mores, and so we need to cancel chocolate out. So this is just our conversion factor from our upper left. 3 pieces of chocolate gives us 1 s'more. We're going to be able to cancel out our chocolates because that's just a unit. And then we're just going to do our multiplication out. 27 times 1, and then divided by 3. And so our answer is going to be 9 s'mores from these 27 pieces of chocolate. Okay? So these are our steps to stoichiometry. They're the same ones that we've been going over. You're going to balance your equation first. You're going to write what you're given in the upper left-hand corner of your t-chart. Then you're going to put your conversion factor in the middle, and you're going to put that same given unit on the bottom of that conversion factor so that you can cancel it out. And then you're going to multiply across the top and divide by whatever's on the bottom. So we'll try a couple more examples. All right, so here's a full chemical equation. How many moles of hydrogen gas, H2, are needed to produce 5 moles of NH3? Okay, so we're going to have to balance this first. So we have 2 of our nitrogen atoms on the left over here, and we only have 1 on the right. So we would need to put a coefficient of 2 in front of this NH3 on the right. And that's going to change our amount of hydrogen. So we've got 3 in an individual molecule of this NH3, but then we're going to have 2 of those molecules. So 2 times 3 is 6. So we need 6 hydrogens. So we would put a 3 in front of the H2 gas on the left in order to get that. Maybe. There we go. So there's our balanced equation. So we don't need our 1 in front of our N, so we'll just leave that out. So we have N2 plus 3 molecules of H2 is going to give us 2 molecules of NH3. Okay, so this is our balanced one. So first we're going to figure out what our given is and what our wanted is. So our given is that we're trying to produce 5 moles of NH3. We're trying to figure out, what we want to know is how many moles of H2 are needed to do that. Okay, so we can do our conversion factor based on those two things. So we know that 3 moles of H2 are going to give us 2 moles of NH3. So there's our conversion factor in the upper left. And then we're always going to start with our given. So we've got 5 moles of NH3, that's our given value. And then we're going to set up our conversion factor so that that given value will cancel. So our conversion factor goes in the middle, and it's just that conversion factor that we wrote up here. 3 moles of H2 is going to give us 2 moles of NH3. That is just from our equation up here from looking at the coefficients. We can cancel out our units for our moles of NH3 because that's not what we want. And then we can multiply across the top and divide by the bottom. So 5 times 3 is 15, divided by 2 is 7.5. So 7.5 moles of H2 are going to be needed to produce 5 moles of NH3. Okay? Let's do a couple more. So this is using that same equation, but we're asking a different question now. How many moles of N2 are needed to react completely with 7.5 moles of H2? So in our last equation, we were figuring out, or our last problem, we figured out that in order to make 5 moles of NH3, we needed 7.5 moles of H2. Okay, so up here. We don't yet know, though, how many moles of N2 we're going to need in order to do that. So then now we're trying to figure out how much N2 do we need in order to react completely with 7.5 moles of H2. Okay, so our given is 7.5 moles of that hydrogen gas, and our wanted is how many moles of N2. Okay, so we set up our conversion factor now with those two things instead. So our conversion factor is there are 3 moles of H2 used for every 1 mole of N2 because there's no coefficient here, so you know it has to be a 1. So now we can set up our t-chart. We're going to put our given in the upper left, 7.5 moles of H2. Now use our conversion factor, putting that given unit on the bottom so that we can cancel it. Cancel out that given unit, and then do our multiplication across the top and our division by what's on the bottom. So 7.5 times 1, and then divided by 3. So 2.5 moles of N2 would be needed. Okay, so the rest of these questions, I've got 6 practice problems on there for you, so that's the rest of the slides. So your assignment is up, and it is doing those 6 practice problems. So hopefully you feel confident after watching this short video, and let me know if you have any questions or need my help in any way.